in.
Okay.
Anywho, hey everyone. Hey. Okay, so I want this to be a conversation. So definitely talk back with me in the comments, ask your questions. Let's really work this out for you. So in case you aren't familiar with me, I'm Jamillah R of JRPR, where I help you befriend your brand. So what we're talking about tonight is getting publicity for your event. But first, let me tell you why I was chosen to talk to you guys about this. For one, I've been in PR for 13 years. I've worked in the healthcare industry. I've worked for a governmental agency. I've worked doing PR and marketing for corporations. I've also done entertainment publicity. So all of those things are my background. But the reason she chose me for this was because I also used to have an event service called Sokol. And with Sokol, we helped young professionals get together every month, and we brought out small business owners locally in Atlanta and in Tampa, Florida. So with that, every single month we were bringing out between 75 to 100 guests to our event. So to have consistent numbers like that, you have to have some publicity behind your event. You have to know how to market correctly to the people that are going to be most interested in you, and you have to know how to talk to that audience. So that's why I'm here. That's why she chose me. But first, if you want to connect with me on social media, please do so. I love Instagram the most, but I'm everywhere as Jamillah R. But I am on Instagram as Jamillah_R. And I love Instagram the most. So connect with me there. I love LinkedIn too. So if y'all are popping on LinkedIn, let's talk there. All right, so let's get into it though. And also, I used to be a journalist. I wrote for Soul Train, and now I write for Forbes. So having that opportunity also gives me the perspective of what happens when people pitch you. So that's what I'm going to talk about. That's what I'm going to talk to you guys about today. So I have a couple of points that I want to go through, but while we're going through this, if you have questions, jump in there, because I'm looking at the chat and watching it right now to make sure you guys are engaged and make sure, you're getting your questions answered. And this is beneficial for you. Like, I don't want you to be here on an evening watching us and this isn't of value to you. So you need to let me know that you're getting the value in this. All right, cool. So all right, so my first point when it comes to getting publicity for your event, I really want to see you guys have the details together. How many times have you watched or have you visited a Eventbrite event? And you're like, oh, I really want to find out more about this event. Like, I might be interested in going. The title's catchy, but ain't no details there. You've just got a time, a date, a location. And I'm like, well, who's going to be there? What am I going to learn? Like, why am I going to invest my time and my money into attending your event? So what you have to do first and foremost is have all the details for your event together. We want to know who else is going to be there. Why would I attend your event? Why does it specifically matter to me? And that's something really important when it comes to publicity and PR. You have to have that communication foundation solid. People have to know the who, what, the when, the why, the where. So be sure in your advertisements, in your marketing, when you're going out to pitch media, all of that stuff is right there. Because one, ain't nobody got time to start researching what you're hosting. Do you know what I mean? Like, we don't want to look through, all of your records, and we don't want to have to go to 15 of your webinars to figure out that you're hosting an event and what it's going to be about. Just give me the details, give it to me quick, dirty, easy, and let me know what that's going to be. So that's the most important thing for you. And also explain the experience. Are we going to be sitting down? Are we going to be having lunch? Are we just going to be sitting there watching you talk? Are we going to be up shaking hands with other people? What is it going to feel like when we're in there? People also want to know that, because come on, ladies, we're wearing heels if we're going out. We want to know if we're going to be standing up for 10 hours at your event. If you don't have chairs, let a sister know, because I don't want to have to, one, leave because my feet hurt, or I don't want to be the ghetto girl that's walking around barefoot. Let's just be for real. So give people an explanation of what the experience is going to be like for your event. That communication is very, very important. Thank y'all. Thank y'all. I'm watching those comments. Okay. We talked about talk about why the event was created and what your goals are for it. That's really important to communicate as well, especially if you're setting up an Eventbrite or even digital events like this. You guys are here today because, one, it's a catchy title, how to get publicity for your event, and it's straight to the point. But you also saw, you know, the details in the description of and the agenda of what we're going to be talking about. So always include those things for online events and for offline events, especially for offline events. Because if you want people to leave their house for you, you got to make it worth it for them. Okay, my next point. When you're looking for publicity for your event, you have to make it easy for bloggers. You have to make it easy for social media engagement. All of these things surrounding your event, those are so important. Not just for the marketing, but definitely for the publicity. If you're going to ask a media outlet to come to your event, they need to know these things. So let's say it is, let's say you're going to pitch a media outlet. The first thing that I always tell people is start pitching early. Don't wait until, you know, the Thursday and your event is on Saturday to send out a pitch. They probably aren't coming because they already have plans. You know, if you are planning an event, the earlier that you can start dripping out that information, the better. Give away those details early. And then you can just stand on that foundation of this is all the information I gave you, you know, over a 30-day period. But you definitely always want to give those details out early. Do not invite media guests the week of if they have not heard anything from you, you know, leading up to the event. They need time. They need time to plan, you know, for cameras, for videographers. They need travel. All of these things have to be approved through corporations for them to come out and visit you. So the earlier you can start having these conversations, talking about your event, dripping out information about your event, the better. Let's see here. Also, have some interesting stories to tell regarding your event. Give them some angles. You know, they're going to be writing about you. So no one's just going to be like, hey, Jamillah had an event on Saturday. It was great. You know, they really want to know, like, why are attendees here? So give them different angles. Let's say that I was having a picnic. That's all I can think of right now. But if it's a picnic, you know, they want to know the details, you know. What's the history of the park? Maybe I'm having it in a historical park. Maybe I'm having it, you know, to build funds for a nonprofit. But you have to, yes, go ahead, ask your questions. But you have to, you know, have those details out there for them to latch on to and for them to tell your story. Because sometimes they don't really know where to begin. So if you're going to be the author and the narrator of your business, of your story, you have to know what those things are first. You also want to make your event photo friendly. How many times have you been to events and like it's just balloons? And no shade, we've all done that, especially when you're just starting out. But if it's just balloons, people don't have a place to take pictures. If all you do is a photography wall, you know, that's branded for you, at least just do the bare minimum of that. Because if you go to an event and you're in, let's say it's an office space. Let's say you guys are in my office right now and all I have is balloons right here. Who's really sharing your photos on social media? Nobody. What media outlets are really going to be like, yes, we in here taking pictures and we're doing video for you? They aren't interested. It's boring. So have some places in your event that you can drive people to take pictures, that you can say, hey, you know, if you're going to do an interview, do it on this wall, do it on the flower wall or something like that. So have something that's photo worthy. When it comes to a hashtag, lately, I know that hashtags are awesome. And I know that we're getting into a space now because everyone's using social media. Everyone's using hashtags for business and for fun, that hashtags are taken. So you want to be original. But how many times have you guys seen hashtags that are super long, and when it's for your event and it's super long, people are going to get it super wrong? And you don't want that because you want to be able to track, you know, people that are posting using your hashtag. So if it's like Business Summit 2018, we pop a hashtag, like that's really long. And I've seen those. So I don't mean to be funny. And even if it's a little shade, I'm just here to help y'all, sis. So it has to be, you know, a hashtag that's like Business Summit 2018. If somebody else is using that hashtag, be sure you dominate it. I mean, that's what you're in business for, to dominate anyway. So, you know, don't just have these long hashtags where it's like Summit Conference 2018, we popping. Like, it's too long and someone's going to mess it up. The next thing that I wanted to talk to you guys about, very important when you're looking for publicity for your event. Now, publicity don't equal ticket sales. How many of you guys know that? Publicity does not equal ticket sales. And I don't want y'all going to y'all publicists mad that, you know, I don't want you, you know, hiring a publicist and then y'all are mad that you ain't sell no tickets. They're not the same thing. So what our job is to do is to build your legacy. So if you're creating an event, it's so that you can build your legacy around what it is you do, but you're doing it offline. It's so that you can connect face to face with your community. It's so that people can know you're not reading from a script every time you're live on social media, because there's people who do that. So, as far as it not being directly connected to sales, what it does is drive awareness. It puts eyeballs on it. So remember, going back to that first point that I said, you have to be sure that the details are there. You have to be sure that you have a solid communication and foundation for the information about it. You have to be talking about the experience, because when you get that attention for your event, when people start checking for it and they're like, hey, you know, I want to know more about it. Or, hey, you know, we've seen you do interviews on the radio talking about this event. Here's an example, something that just happened to me. I'm actually located in the Washington, D.C. area, and I was very interested in this event. And it was kind of self-explanatory, so you didn't need to really know all about the details and everything that was connected with it. Like, it is what it is. I know that it's a beauty and fashion show, right? So the more I looked into the event, you know, once I went to the website, because I bought my tickets on Groupon, I went to the website and I'm like, ain't no details. I went to last year's event that they were like, yes, we've had sold out events for the past 3 years. It wasn't no pictures. I was like, okay. So then I went to the social media, y'all. They didn't have a presence. So then, you know, I'm like, okay, well, they have some articles, you know, for me to read from the owner about interviews that he's done. Y'all, interviews were totally not about the event. So do you see what I mean? If you're going to have publicity surrounding an event, you have to, one, be on the radio or the podcast or the blogs or, you know, in the news. When you're talking about the event, be specific in talking about the event. If you're looking to build a legacy for it, meaning that, you know, you're going to do an event series, you know, this year we're having a conference. It's our annual conference, or this is our quarterly event, or this is our weekly meetup. Whatever that is the legacy of the event. And it has to be consistent. So going back to the communications of everything, going back to the foundation of what people should expect as far as their experience, going back to how you have described, you know, the marketing and what they're going to get and who's going to be there, what time it is, where it's at, and why people should care. Sorry, my computer just took my notes down. Okay, so in all of that, your events are to build your legacy. They are to, you know, really brand you for who you are. They're to really brand your expertise in things. Okay, when we're talking about, wait, I missed a point. Sorry, I just got those notes back up. But they also help you stand out from your competitors. Now, how many of y'all want to stand out from your competitors? The way to do that is with an event. And of course, you're going to want publicity surrounding it. You want brand awareness surrounding it. Ticket sales. Let's talk about ticket sales, because I know that's what you guys are all interested in. And that's one of the reasons why you came here. You're like, oh, publicity is going to mean, you know, everybody knows about my event, so they're buying the tickets. So when it comes to in your ticket sales and publicity, you have to have a strategy for outreach. So one of the most important things you can do when you're building out that strategy is really determining the audience that you want to talk to. And it's not always the media, y'all. Publicity stems from public relations. And I always explain public relations as relating to the public. So when you think about the public that needs to be aware of your event and who wants to be there, who wants to know more about it, you have to think about what butts are going to be filling these seats. Okay, how do I find those people? Those are the direct people that I need to talk to if I'm going to sell tickets. I can't. The one thing about publicity is it's so broad. So you get a lot of people watching you, but it may not necessarily be, the people who are going to purchase, or you may be getting, publicity from a national media outlet, and all those people aren't located where you are. Maybe you're located in a small city, and all those people that are listening to that radio show, because it's national, they're in other places. So you're getting exposure and people that can still do business with you, but they may not be able to travel to your event. So what you want to do when you're creating that strategy is think about, who do I really need to target? And I really love that, Shatoya, you said, you guys have to think about local media. And when it comes to local media, one of the reasons that they're going to be best when it comes to events is because they're talking to people in the area who can potentially come. It's not going to be like them jumping on a flight or anything like that. They just are spending a Saturday and doing a 10-minute drive to see you. So those are the people you want to target. So when you're thinking about those people, think about the things they do. What organizations are they involved with? Maybe it's something like the Urban League, or maybe it's a women's organization in your city. Those are the people you need to be pitching. Those are the people you need to talk to see if they can bring their communities out. Those are the people that you need to engage with to be sure that you're selling tickets. So when you think about publicity for your event, think of it more as community relations, more of the outreach that's being done directly to people to drive those ticket sales. And once you get those, then you want to contact the general media. And yeah, that's all I have. I would love for you guys to ask me some questions. But just real quick to summarize what we talked about you have to have those event details. Those are super important if you're going to be marketing your event, if you're going to be going out for publicity. Next, we talked about making it easy for people to engage with your event, having the right look, letting them know what the experience is going to be like, letting them know all the details up front, not making them do research. And then lastly, we talked about how PR does not equal ticket sales. It equals exposure, and your way in driving those ticket sales is connecting directly with the community and by being really good at having a solid foundation that communicates what your event is, who it's for, and why they should be there. Okay, so that's all.
I know you guys have some questions. Is anybody hosting an event that's coming up soon? Anybody here in Atlanta or DC? Don't be shy. I'm pretty sure one person has a question. Somebody else has the same one.
Hey, Queen.
Do you have any strategies to give them as far as, so they're hosting? Okay, maybe we got a question. You're hosting a prayer breakfast for a local church.
Awesome. So what are you doing to be sure that people are coming? Because many times at my church, we've had prayer breakfast, and one strategy for that is definitely connecting with other churches and getting them to buy in. If you say, we've got Episcopal Baptist Church, they're also engaged. We got, St. John's Catholic Church, they're also involved. That is something that drives ticket sales, because with prayer breakfast, as important as it is spirituality, people are there to network. So they really want to know what that experience is going to be like. You're creating a talk show. You want to have media come to the set. Oh, that's easy. So remember, she talked about that media kit. I know a lot of times when it's in the production world, you guys call it info decks, information decks, or y'all call them decks. For the PR side, we call them press kits, media kits. But get that together and send that out to some local media, that's in your area and able to come out. And they love to, especially if they think it's something in it for them. So figure out what that something in it for them is and kind of draw them out like that. Okay, I see y'all these comments going up. Hold on, I gotta scroll.
So Sunny has a question about OnAir Talent, kind of going back to the local church question, or not a question, but you mentioned you're having a prayer breakfast. So do you notice that like during voting season, a lot of political leaders will come in and the churches will allow them to kind of give a spiel about who they are? That's something that you can do about your event too. So one, you got to build relationships with those churches to make sure that they're okay with you getting in front of their congregation and sharing whatever event it is that you have. But that's another thing, just word of mouth, just being able to get up there and, can you guys allow me 5 minutes? Or maybe with my church and many other churches too, they have bulletins. Maybe you can put the prayer breakfast in the bulletin or something like that. So those are just some examples.
So is the next one advice for on-air talent?
Yeah.
Okay. So advice for on-air oh, I'm sorry. It just moved. Okay, advice for on-air talent. Okay, every time I say that, it moves. Okay, would you say that some of these points are relevant for individuals? Absolutely. All of these points are relevant for individuals. So everything that you do to promote your event, that's what publicity is. It's promotion. You do that to promote yourself, and you do that to promote your own business as well. I really like that you mentioned Haro. Haro is a great way to get publicity for individuals, because mostly what Haro is journalists from mostly major outlets that are looking to get commentary from expertise, from experts in whatever industry. So a lot of times when I get my clients press hits from Haro, it's somebody who wants to know, you know, hey, are there any chefs out there who can comment on this specific kind of diet? Let's say it's keto diet. They'll want to know that stuff. So it's really, really great for individuals. I won't email it like normal. Yes, don't email it like normal. Okay, and I think the next one for you, Shatoya.
Okay, I mentioned something about a headline analyzer. I didn't catch the full name or what to use it for. So when I do guest blog posts, or when I was blogging under my other business, Creative Collab, I would use a headline analyzer. So basically it'll tell you the strength of your headline. Like if it's catchy, is it descriptive? Does it have the right words? Maybe you chose one word, and if you make it a more descriptive word, it kind of gives you points. So it'll give you like a scale and let you know if it's a strong headline or not. So I use that with emails as well too. So it's CoSchedule Headline Analyzer. And it just helps you to create more eye-catching and descriptive headlines. Was setting up ticket sales on Eventbrite help? Eventbrite helps absolutely, but you have to also make sure that, so let's say some people put events on Eventbrite and they just think that, oh, it's just going to sell out because I put it on Eventbrite. People will search and they'll find the event, but you have to also invite people as well. So with Eventbrite, they allow you to upload or sync your email list, and you can send invites out through Eventbrite, right? So that's one example. But also making sure that you're utilizing other ticketing platforms as well, such as Meetup. If you're having a workshop, I have a client, Kay Renee, she's here in Atlanta. This Thursday, I'm sorry, she's actually hosting an event. So we've done Eventbrite, we've done Meetup, and we've done a host of other ticketing platforms as well. So absolutely, Eventbrite can help, but also make sure that you're doing something too to spread the word about your event and not just waiting for people to find it online.
I agree. And definitely those details. There are hundreds of events listed on Eventbrite, and I always search for them for networking purposes. So if you don't have, you know, a detailed description of what someone can expect coming, You definitely want to do that. You don't want people to have any reason to be confused or have questions about the event that you're hosting. So with Eventbrite specifically, that's one of the most important things. If you can, add links to those descriptions, you can add videos, you can add pictures. It's really robust, the things you can add to your event page. And I would definitely say that is why my events that I was hosting were really successful, and maybe I can find an old one for you guys to look at.
Awesome. So I'll let you look for that and then let us know. So Raven has a talk show, a Christian teen talk show. So you're reaching out to youth pastors. Yes, that's really good. Also look at Christian organizations to reach out to as well. Christian podcasts. I've been on a Christian podcast, Right to Real Love with Jamillah. That can be a marketing strategy that you can use to be featured on the show. He does guests on his show. And you can let him know that I referred you. I've been on there twice, actually. And follow up, you have sold out an event on Eventbrite, and then the event was empty. So if you sold out on Eventbrite and the room was empty, chances are the event was free, I'm sure. So here's the thing with free events. People will just register. They don't have any commitment or obligation to actually show up because they haven't made an investment, right? So something may have come up. They may have just wanted to register to make sure, just in case they're able to come. It's not really a definite. So one of my event marketing strategies that I use for free events, I always oversell. So my client event is on Thursday. The room capacity is 25, and I believe we have 50 that's open, because it's going to be some people who don't attend. It's creepy people online that's just signing up for stuff too, just to be honest. And what you can do, we've been going through the event list and searching the people on LinkedIn and social media to see if they are real people. Because some people will do that. They'll just go sign up for events and have no intention on coming, or just like trolls online, they don't have anything better else to do, just trying to bother people and stop you from what you're really trying to accomplish. So yeah, if you're doing a free event, making sure that you're overselling. And as you host free events, you'll kind of learn what your conversion ratio is. So when I was doing monthly co-working events, I knew if the space held 25, then sometimes I would do 50. Sometimes I got to a point where 25 and 25, because people was really showing up. So as you continue to host free events, you'll kind of learn as far as room capacity and who actually shows up after you've done a few. And we're in Atlanta. So Kay Renee's event is at the Gathering Spot on Thursday. It's free. You can register on Eventbrite, and it's from 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. The State of the Purpose-Driven Professional. You find your event you wanted to share?
I finally did. Took me a minute. And remind you guys, this is from 2015. So that's why I was like, God, where am I going to find these? Okay, I found it. How do I share my screen? Okay, here we go. Okay.
So you can,
every time can you hear me?
Yeah,
every time I click something, it takes me out. Okay. So I can share my screen now. There we go. All right, so here's an old event that I did in 2015. Can you guys see my screen with the Eventbrite?
Yep, I can see Eventbrite game night.
So yes, so this is a old one that we did, and usually with Eventbrite, like Shatoya said it's really hard to sell free events. So even if you are doing a paid event, I always do it in tiers to make sure that things get sold out. You know, like first 50 people get a special price because we were making it for large event spaces. This one was at the Westside Cultural Arts Center. That fits up to, in the room we were in, 250 people. So I needed to make sure, you know, with at least 50 people, they all had somebody to talk to. And then we sell the regular tickets. But right here, when I was saying you can utilize video into your description, let's see if it's gonna play. There we go. Got a commercial going. This is what the events look like. You know, we show pictures of the food that we have to further entice people. You know, if you're going to come here, because it's an after work event, there will be food. You won't just, you know, be standing around hungry. That is what I mean by giving people a showcase of what the experience is going to be like. Right here, explaining what Sokol is and how we help young professionals in the company description, how to reach us. All of our social media was listed right there. Pictures from the event. That's very important. These were from past events. Letting people know, you know, there will be a DJ. Here are our sponsors. And then, you know, a larger picture of the flyer, because when you do the marketing and stuff, everything is really small towards the top up here. So when you're writing it in the description, it gives people the chance to really zoom into the flyers and the pictures that you have. So that's what I mean by putting out all of the information right there. With this, I mean, you can just look at the video. If all you were going to do is just a video to give people that experience of what they should expect, this video would be enough. So we brought in videographers, I think to 3 of our events to capture this and put it all together as to what people would experience. But I really wanted to be clear on who I was talking to, who wanted to be there, what the experience would be like, and what they would expect. How many times have you been to an event and you were like, okay, I'm completely overdressed? You don't want to just be overdressed because you didn't know what to expect. So that's pretty it when it comes to Eventbrite, and then doing tiered sales. That makes sense for your business. I know everybody has different things, but yeah.
Awesome. You guys have any more questions before we wrap up? 9:03. Want to make sure we get everybody's questions in before we head out. You want to let them know again where they can follow you and find you? I'll send an email out as well with your LinkedIn.
Yes, you can find me at befriendyourbrand.com if you're interested in any PR services. If you are a small business owner, you're a creative entrepreneur, or if you're a best-selling book author, all those people are specifically the ones that I work with to build their brand awareness. You can connect with me on all social media, Jamillah_R. I'm very personal, very friendly. As you can see, I used to host social events, so I love talking. So definitely connect with me. Definitely stay in touch. Really, if you just Google my name, which is right here under me, you guys can see, you'll find everything about me. So yes, let's definitely connect, you guys.
Yes, and this is a great example of me collaborating with someone who has the same audience. If you notice, she said the similar audience that I have, coaches, authors. So making sure you're being very intentional, guys.
Yes.
Yes, awesome. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I will send an email out with Jamillah's information as well. If you guys don't have it already, I know I sent the website out, but she has client testimonials on her site where clients have been featured. Everything that you need to know is on her website. So when she says be detailed, just go look at her website and you'll get an idea of what you need to be doing for your events, for your website, for your events as well.